All right, so you want to get into film photography. Cool. But maybe you really don't know where to start. You're looking up things online, you're looking up all these different brands, and it feels a bit overwhelming. Trust me, I get it. I've been there, and it really can be a lot to take in. But don't worry, I got you, because today I'm going to give you a little bit of a guide on what the best 35mm cameras are for beginners. First, I want to say that film cameras and digital cameras are different. With the film camera, you don't have that luxury of firing off a bazillion shots and instantly seeing your results. You only get 36 shots, maybe 37 if you're lucky. And if you think that's low, there are some film stocks that offer only 24 frames. And that's the beauty of shooting film, because film teaches you to slow down. Every photograph becomes more and more intentional. And it teaches you to take in the environment of where you're shooting at. You do not get a chance to look over your photo after you've taken it. With film, you have to go get it developed from a photo lab. And getting your film developed and scanned can take a couple hours to a couple of days, maybe even a week. Now, there are many different types of 35mm film cameras. We have manual cameras, then there's cameras that offer automatic settings like Aperture-priority and even shutter-priority. With manual cameras, think of it as if you're driving a stick shift. You control the shutter speed, the aperture, and the overall exposure. And the film stock that you choose will be the ISO, or ASA is what they called it back in the day. It's essentially the same thing. Manual cameras are great because it really teaches you the fundamentals of photography, but it's more like diving right in. And some people, like myself, love having that full control. Film cameras like the Pentax K1000 is a perfect example of a fully manual camera. You set everything. To set the shutter speed and ASA, there's gonna be a little dial on the top of the camera, and you just turn that to whichever shutter speed you like. For the aperture, it's a little different. The aperture is gonna be placed on the actual lens that you mount to the camera. And from there, you can twist the aperture ring to a setting of your liking. Now, if you're feeling a little too overwhelmed to jump straight into full manual, cameras that offer shutter or aperture priority are a saving grace. Aperture priority means that you can only control the aperture. This is pretty great for shooting portraits. And shutter priority means you don't have to set the aperture. You only need to set the shutter speed and the camera will do everything else for you. It makes it really good for when you're shooting in the streets. A camera that has shutter priority mode is the Canon AE-1. It is a classic camera. This is one of those cameras that most beginners end up starting out with. And just like the Pentax K1000, the shutter speed dial is on the top of the camera, and just set it to whatever you want and you're good to go. The Nikon FE is a great camera, and it offers aperture priority mode. And if the Pentax happens to be too big for you, the Olympus OM-1 is a smaller option. Now, these just aren't the only kind of film cameras that are out there. There's plenty more, but one of my personal favorites happen to be the point-and-shoot film camera. Point-and-shoot film cameras are great because that's exactly what you do with it. You just point and shoot. You don't have to do any other work. It is fully automatic, and they're really fun to use. The Nikon L35AF is a great example. It has a really sharp lens and reliable autofocus. And of course, you might have seen this one on social media, and that is the Olympus XA2. This camera is perfect because it's pocketable and it has a really sharp lens attached to it. Yeah, point and shoots are just great for beginners. There's really no hassle to it. These are vintage cameras we're talking about. They're pretty old, so here's some things that you should check for. And one of them being light leaks. Inspect the foam strips around the back of the camera. If you see the foam crumbling, then that will ruin your film. You should also check for fungus and or haze in the lens. To check that, shine a light through the lens to spot any tiny spiderweb-like growths. It's actually pretty gross. Also, always check the shutter sound to see if everything is working properly with the shutter. And of course, please check the battery door. Check and see if there's any corrosion. If the battery is left in a film camera for far too long, it will start to corrode and it can ruin your whole entire camera. There's all the basics you need to get started. The only thing left is to come to KEH and pick up your first 35mm film camera. Because with our KEH certified pre-owned items, all of our gear is tested, graded, and backed by our 180-day warranty. And that is including all the vintage film cameras that we have. So come get all your film gear at KEH.com. Peace.